All right. Again, adventures, and welcome to another exciting episode of Tears of the Realms. Yes, this is our homebrew Cypher System powered Zelda themed tabletop RPG set in our weird, messed up version of the Breath of the Wild, Tears of the Kingdom, Flavor of Hyrule, and the people below me are the people that are all in the time zone that it's really early in right now. And I admire that they all come to play this game at very early hours. Yeah.
Yes.
Woo! And also
So,
Pianch.
yeah. So, announcements. Um,
Bro.
trying to
Uh,
think.
we don't have a lot for ZU currently. We are making some stuff around Echoes of Wisdom this weekend. So you might see some stuff come up of of here's what we know about like Echoes of Wisdom so far. So keep an eye out for that.
Believe the ZU podcast is working on getting an episode up. Excuse me, relatively soon, and by relatively soon I mean in the next month or two here.
Yep.
Because it takes a while to put together a podcast with that many different people. So that's cool stuff. As far as the world of tabletop RPGs, everything has a Kickstarter right now. Everything.
Look
It
out
is
for the
nonsense.
Dungeons and Dragons 7th edition Kickstarter.
Yeah. Wizards of the Coast did put out something that people have been, not people, a couple journalists have been freaking out about.
Journalists aren't people, as you all know.
At this point, I'm starting to question. But they have multiple flavors of the new core books that are coming out for the 2024 revision of D&D 5th edition. And if you get the digital physical bundle in addition to dice sets and all that stuff, you can also get a free book um, about the dragons of Dungeons and Dragons, I think is what it is. Don't quote me on that, but the new the revision to 5th edition D&D is coming out. Players Handbook
September, I
Early
think. Yeah.
Access starts, I think, September 2nd.
Oh.
So we will very soon have an update to 5th edition, and WotC is going crazy with putting out books about everything. I think they've put out, or not books, videos
They've
about
been
everything.
they've been posting about it on D&D Beyond as well.
Yeah, so tons of stuff if you're interested in the D&D. Fun fact, when this show was originally pitched to me, uh, Elias had asked me, "Hey, can you make a Zelda D&D game?" And I went, "I could, or you could let me use this new system that just got published that I'm obsessed with called Open Legend." And the rest was history. So originally this is supposed to be a D&D game. And not that I don't love D&D, love it to death, but I'm kind of glad that we did not go with D&D for either of the campaigns, because Open Legend was super fun. Cypher System has been an absolute blast. I also found out I know of, like, we spoke a few
I
times.
know.
Somebody that works for Monty Cook Games, um, who publishes the Cypher System. And Kiri does too. Terry Latorco, who is a former Geek and Sundry
Oh.
vlogger that did wargaming stuff.
I haven't heard that name in a
Apparently,
while.
I can't remember what her position is, but she and I communicated a fair amount back when she was doing the wargaming stuff. And she's a super cool person, or at least she was. I haven't spoken to her in years, but she was a super cool person, and I liked her. I'm always happy to see people going off and doing awesome stuff. So, anyway, do we have other announcements? Okay.
Nope.
I'm tempted.
It
to
has
think,
been
oh,
a
maybe.
hell of a week this week, folks. So if you notice that the game seems like weird, it's probably because my brain has just given up at this point. So, yeah.
Some morning my brain is like that.
It has been
Can I
a
help you?
week for folks. But yes. If anyone wants to join our internet movement, Imp and I have started a movement that's entire purpose is to get Matt Colville to let Dale Kingsmill name his due RPG system, which at this point is still called the MCDM RPG. And Dale is very creative and is also friends with Matt Colville. So
Man Crush Daddy Monday. Is that what that stands for?
MC MCDM is Matt Colville Dungeon Master, I think is what it refers to, but
Ah,
that's his brand channel.
I was close.
Yeah, if we can get Dale to join us on this, that'll make 3 people. So yeah, and I've pitched it to Dale too. Like I've mentioned a couple of times to Dale, and she's just like, "You do you." So either Dale is already secretly involved, or the more likely aspect is she thinks it's as silly as it is. So yeah.
How are you this morning, Kiri? Great.
Good answer.
I
Relatable.
think Kiri speaks for us all.
Wait, what?
Elias just goes, "How are you this morning, Kiri?" And nothing.
Just silence.
Oh, I did not hear that.
Tight. Awesome. Fantastic.
Distracted by a kitten. That's how I know.
Oh no.
Yeti.
Animals are out to get us this morning.
Kiri has been dealing with her resident hunter.
Bianchi is simultaneously confused and elated that I'm not immediately leaving him to go to work.
Like, but I get to play with you all day?
Oh.
Pets really are wonderful, folks. And there's lots of studies that show that having a pet like increases your lifespan and is good for you. And yeah.
Good for them too.
Yeah. Get your pets from shelters and things like that because you'll be saving a life. And pet stores and stuff like that are just really not great for pets, surprisingly enough.
Mm.
So rescue an animal, save a life. A lot of times they are remarkably affectionate because they have been through many, many things.
Yeah.
All right. So with that being said, I think it is time for us to return to the Tears of the Realms.
I forgot.
The Tear Walkers have escaped. After finally arriving in Hyrule Castle Town and meeting with the first group of town Minish the Tear Walkers have ever met, aside from their new friend Fubari, the Tear Walkers were immediately held captive and were blamed for the spread of the shadow sickness that had been infecting the town Minish. The leader of this small subgroup of town Minish was known as Grumpo and seemed vehemently against the idea of allowing these intruders anywhere further into the town Minish settlements. After having Mado create a new shield prototype that allowed for shield surfing in the air, they demonstrated this for Grumpo in an attempt to convince him to allow them to. Grumpo was less than amused and locked them in an upper workshop that had a very large window. Tearwalkers decided to use the window to escape and eventually attempt to make their way across the roofs to the library, where the head of the town Minish would hold their meetings. After a few mishaps involving misjudging distance and things like that, the Tearwalkers were able to all make it out of the workshop and now have made it all the way to the library, where hopefully they will be able to convince the town Minish to put aside their prejudices and preconceived notions and hopefully save all of the Minish. So, yes, I think Kiri's the only one that wasn't here last time, right? We had both Lex and
Yes.
Elias.
Which my brain is going, man, you guys got busy.
Yeah, effectively, what happened was he made 2 of these shield surfing prototypes, and he was able to get a few people across, and then he came back and had Fubari ride with him on the shield and didn't realize that the weight distribution would be weird. So as he's plummeting to his death and going, this is a good way to die, Fubari brings out kind of a grappling gun and like saves them completely nonchalant. And then while this is happening, Aino was given her own shield and she decided to go. And everyone's like, wait a minute, if the guy that shield surfs could make this, what about Aino? Then they hear this huge peal of lightning and thunder because Aino was not going to make it. And so she just went, okay, and just teleported.
And the
And
lightning.
Oh, so we
It just
lost the
went-
shield.
no, because anything that she's equipped with goes with her with
right,
the
okay.
lightning.
Okay.
She just got to, like, everyone else had to like land in this little spot because gliding.
I crashed
I
into a
know
wall.
lands at the top of the house and just goes, so maybe you want to like figure out how to make it go further this way because it went this way very fast.
Yeah,
Wasn't going.
working on it. Thank you, though.
So
You're welcome.
Yeah.
I am, in fact, super magnanimous.
I thought it worked
I am-
great.
And I appreciate your feedback.
I just,
And then-
I didn't stick the landing, but
No, you didn't, but I was very proud of you.
thank you.
and then Zariah just gave Maddo the most shade physically possible as she took the shield, surfed beautifully because she normally can fly, and so already understood the basics of how all of that works.
It was surprising to see that she could produce that much shade when she can't produce shadows here.
Heyo!
So, so after doing all that death-defying heroism, you guys were able to make it all the way across the rooftops, and now you've arrived at the top of the library, where effectively the town hall for the Minish is. And that's where we could cut it off
Okay.
last time.
All right. Okay.
So,
Okay. So is our plan here effectively to try and do with the mayor what we tried to do with Grumpo and hope that he'll listen and not be as grumpy?
I guess. Feels like, I feel like it's gonna end the same way. But we can be positive about it.
Would you
We
like
can
to,
be positive.
would you suggest something differently? I'm throwing out what I assume we're doing, but We surprisingly did not talk a lot on the way here, and now that we're here, just come.
Well, the real question is whether or not it's, Grumpo wasn't specifically thrilled. I can't imagine this is going to be much better with that situation.
Well, he was paranoid, and they're the guard, and they,
Right, but who's to say that the what was it, the mayor?
Yeah, I think so.
Who's to say the mayor is not paranoid too, though?
He could be, but hopefully he'll be able to see through the fear and see reason a little better than Grumpo could. But
I mean, worth a
agree,
shot.
I agree that we
but-
need to figure out what to do if that's not the case. Remind me, our ultimate goal here is to get, because we have a town minish already. Shout out to Fubari. Fubari, you're the best.
Shout
we
out
need
to
to-
Fubari.
We need to get, was it the staff or something to make that half of the door open?
Yeah, effectively, each the force minish and the town minish both have a staff that seems to be energized by the collective power of that group. You guys have already seen the ceremony that the force minish use to kind of energize their staff, and when they used that at the Temple of the Minish, it energized one of the two glyphs that seem to be locking the Temple of the Minish. So the goal is find this staff, get it energized, bring it, probably along with at least one town Minish, to the Temple of the Minish.
Does Fubari count as a town minish or a forest minish?
You guys actually don't know 100% because that particular theory has not been tested in any way, shape, or form.
In terms of magic, we don't know what she'll count as, but she's originally town minish, has adopted forest minish lifestyle. So maybe she can just do both, but either
She's
way,
both.
or neither.
She's
who knows?
both.
So we try all diplomatic channels, and then worst case scenario, we steal the staff, we figure out how to energize it, and we get out of here.
I like the way you think.
Also, potentially, maybe having to kidnap a town minish just to be safe.
Fine. It'll be fine.
Maybe we could use her friend from the... But they're going to be on lockdown after what we just pulled, so... Oh, but he was a scout, wasn't he? I don't know. Maybe. I'm sure diplomatic channels will work fine. Especially if you do your weird Messiah thing again. Which I'm still not clear how you did in the first place.
I don't know what you're talking about.
You just suddenly knew that there was a temple.
I'm a very observant person.
Where did you observe the temple?
Around.
Oh, okay. So you could get us back there if you wanted to?
Oh, no, I'm not that observant.
Oh, okay. Got it. It's situationally, conditionally observant. I see. I
Okay.
understand. Yeah, still answers none of my questions, but thank you.
You're welcome.
Yeah. All right. Well,
Eki, as she goes, "You're welcome," Eki just kind of jumps in her shoulder and goes, "Huh?"
yeah. No, right.
For a second, I thought you were about to say Aki was about to give like finger guns.
Lightning finger guns.
Hey. So here's the other question I've got. How are we getting in?
Can knock.
There's a
Aren't
door
we
in
on
front
the-
of you.
Oh, never mind. I must have missed that part.
That
Yeah.
just wasn't revealed detail yet, but there's a door somewhere.
Basically, with how this particular building works, the way that town minish normally get in is there's a bunch of columns because it's that kind of Corinthian building style,
Mm-hmm.
and the columns themselves are hollow, or at least have been hollowed and have stairs in them, but the town hall and everything for the town minish is actually in the roof of the library. So they actually don't interact. There's a few families that live in the library that actually live around the books and stuff like that. The actual town hall is up top. So,
But we're
with
on
you-
the roof of that, or we're
you've gotten to the entrance of the town hall.
got it.
So-
Thank you.
Yeah, we're just standing outside of the front door, saying, "So what's our
Yeah.
plan?" I look for any spies.
You guys, with how you have been received other places, one of the things that does seem slightly disconcerting is you don't see any guards or anyone kind of controlling entrance to this place. Whereas the last place you went, they had copious amounts of guards.
Only once we got inside, though, right? The outside was inconspicuous, at least. For the
Yeah,
first
well,
glance.
outside is, for the most part, deadly.
Yeah.
So
We'll see. We don't know anyone here, too, so we're just going to be. All right. I think we lead with. We have the cure for the shadow curse. That'll get everyone's attention.
Sure. Okay. Hopefully that I see this going in the way of how do we trust you, blah blah blah, which I mean it's
Oh, wait, I mean, it's not just because we've been received poorly before does not mean we're trying to be deceptive here, right?
No, we're
think
not.
We know, so I think we just be transparent, right?
yeah, I mean if we're upfront about it and be like and we're like honest and all that, then I mean
The reason we were had such friction before is because they thought we were lying while we were telling the truth.
right, yeah, we were never trying to lie. Well, I got nothing else. I got no other ideas. So
Also, showing your shield technology to them will be a gesture of good faith.
that's also true. Actually, I'm gonna like continue to wind like any other springs or anything else stuff that I need. Still gotta figure out a couple things here, but I got a list. Later.
A list of what?
Things to fix with this.
Oh, okay. All right then.
So I'll
Sounds
press
like
the
a
button
plan.
and they'll like shrink down so that I can have them in a little area that I can easily just like keep them.
Sounds like a plan.
Yeah.
Any notes? I know. Oh, you thought it was boring. Okay.
you are currently muted.
I know because I had to run to the bathroom because my stomach was being wonky, and then coming back to any notes makes me go.
What you basically missed was
It's not like I
game
did
plan
that
is we're gonna
intentionally or anything.
You dick.
game plan is we're gonna go in and just be honest and
Oh,
open with
well,
we have a
what
cure for the
other
shadow
plan
curse.
would there be? Like, I mean,
How
were you
the
thinking
plan-
of like being all like in the books where you're like pretending? No, of course we will be honest. What it's
the
stupid to
books?
suggest otherwise. Let's go.
Okay.
In hindsight, I probably should have worded that differently. Okay, here we go.
Knock, knock, knock.
Okay, so as you knock on the stone doors in front of you, you get no answer.
Going to do the classic triple knock, spaced out about 15 to 30 seconds apart, up to 4 separate times.
That's so specific.
I have a lot of experience knocking on strangers' doors.
Wait, you have what?
I'm concerned about what that is supposed to imply.
I have learned so much about you today on this trip. It's crazy and concerning.
So
just knocking.
after spacing out your knocks, again, nothing seems to happen.
Guys, I don't think anyone's
Uh,
home.
Can I kind of do a case around to see if there's like any windows or lights that I can see?
Sure. No roll required. Looking around, you see nothing that would indicate what's going on inside the building, which is relatively typical of most Minish establishments. They don't want to be noticeable from the outside.
I'm not seeing anything.
Okay. Just
What
to
if
just to
we tried a little harder?
just to clear any potential D&D door boss battle scenarios
Mhm.
here, I'm just going to try and firmly push and or pull on both of these doors. to see
Oh
if they
God! So,
open.
oh God! I hate
So
what's about to
as you
happen here.
attempt to open the doors, you find out that despite the fact that they look like just stone wall, they're weighted in such a way that they move very, very easily. And they do open outward. So
They're
you put
pull
open, and
doors.
again, you can tell that these are, for a creature your size, these are probably very, very heavy, but they've been weighted in such a way that it's very, very easy to open them up. And they're also weighted in such a way that if you let go of them, they will also close on themselves automatically.
Hello?
As you say that, as you open the door, you realize that the doors themselves and just the makeup of the wall that you're looking at is thick enough that it has been basically cutting off any sound whatsoever. And now that you have it open, you can hear what sounds like the sound of arguments happening further in.
Cool.
Watermelon, watermelon, murmur, 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 murmur.
Oh man, they are really angry about carrots and peas and watermelon
I
and
mean, I would
rhubarb.
be
This
too.
must be a meeting about like a garden.
Maybe.
Do we have any fruit?
Um.
I don't care if we have
Fubari
vegetables.
just pulls out a random
Excellent.
fruit.
Can I take that really quick?
She, without thinking, she just gives it to you. It looks
Hello. We are here
similar to a pomegranate.
for an audience.
All the argument just stops. And for a little bit, nothing happens. And then everybody gets thrown in random directions as apparently
A really pretty person is appearing.
Zariah seems to be much more communicative than she has been for a little bit.
There's a creepy person. I just got here. Hey guys.
Hello.
Hello.
Hi, friend.
So sorry.
We missed you.
I missed you guys too. Okay. I'm here.
Due to the fact that you weren't here the last time, I'm just going to fill you in on what Zariah did. You guys had to escape from a window using the new shield surfing abilities that Maddow has, and Maddow had some issues making it to the next roof a couple of times. On the final time, he comes back, gives you a shield, and Zariah, despite the fact I'm 100% stealing this from Elias, but despite the fact of not being able to control shadows here, sent so much shade at Maddow as she got on the shield and effortlessly glided across because she knows how flying works. She just can't do it here.
Oh God. Sorry.
It's another June bug crisis.
No, thank you. No, thank you. Yeah, that sounds about right. Love you, Madam.
So So yeah,
We
now
ain't
you
gonna
guys
be
have
friends,
all,
goddammit.
now you guys have all come to the library where the Minish Town Hall is, and Adesh has just opened the door, and you guys heard some arguing happening. And Adesh went, "Hey, we want to say something to you," and all the argument stopped.
I said it a little more formally, but yes.
Yeah, there is
Yeah,
something
yeah.
actually useful, but my brain is such Swiss cheese right now.
Motto just like looks everyone just like, hello.
We've got a fruit. We
I
come
feel
in
like this
peace.
would have been a good moment for Zerai to not be here.
So, as you guys hear all
No, you
the
don't.
It's good that you have all
arguments
the context instead of
stop,
coming later.
for a moment, nothing happens. And then you hear the sound of heavy footfalls as you see two larger Minish in armor, but the armor itself is kind of ill-fitting.
My God, they're like an inch tall.
And the weapons that they're using are they both have spears, but they're using them more to kind of help them walk and steady themselves than they are kind of using them as weapons. They both look relatively out of shape. So as they get there, they see this group of people that they don't recognize, and they kind of point their spears at you, and very slowly you watch as the ends of the spears move down until they can use it to also kind of hold themselves up a little bit. They go, who are you?
Right.
Do you have clearance to be here? Where are your passage papers?
Oh boy. Okay. We didn't know any about any of that paperwork. We are from out of town, not the forest. We are not Forest Minish, just to clarify. But we seek an audience with the council / mayor because we think we might be able to help end the shadow curse. Also, we brought a fruit.
So you both kind of
We
look
brought
at each other. And we brought a fruit. They both
Ta-da!
look at each other. Look
And
at
we
you.
bring technology to help you reconnect with the Minish as well.
Oh yeah. And Motto like shows the shield.
All this
So
to say
again, they
we come
both
in
look at
peace.
each other, look at you. Do you have an appointment?
I would like to surface read their thoughts.
There it is.
Okay. As you kind of activate this ability to read the thoughts of people,
Surface
you are
thoughts, just- we're just out of
overwhelmed
breath.
with the experience of just this kind of phrase repeating from both of them. Breathe, breathe. Okay. Oh, and you like they're both kind of focusing on the various aches and pains they have from moving that quickly. And yeah, they seem to be very like even their surface thoughts, they are completely out of their element right now. They're like
So I know just sort of like, hang on. I feel like there's a lot of tension happening right now. Let us take a moment to just, breathe in for a count of 5 and exhale
good
for a
idea.
count of 6. Just
Yeah, we kind of hustled over here.
clear our minds, maybe just a little. It's too much tension in the room, right?
So they both realize that pointing their spears at you while simultaneously using them as like a cane is just not working. And so they raise them up and then use them for support. And you watch both of them just kind of.
Isn't that nice?
I like bend over and just like pant a bit.
All right.
This is a fun trick for whenever you get a little overwhelmed because you see breathing out longer than when you inhale actually creates a physiological response in your body to calm down. It's great. It's perfect. Highly recommend.
Yeah, I don't know anything.
Just sitting down and closing your
Nervous
eyes.
system.
Oh, yes. If you could take a little nap too. Wouldn't that be so great?
Since your kind of surface thought ability is still active, as soon as you say nap, you can kind of hear in both of their brain this elation of, oh, I could so use a nap. Wouldn't that be lovely? Like both of them just hear nap and are like dogs if you say like park. It's like what nap?
And
You know,
I'm just
Bark.
sorry.
I'm sure it's been a hard day, and I'm so sorry. We do have appointment. We showed it to you a little bit ago, but you seem so tired, and I don't know.
Go ahead and
Could I get you a blanket?
go ahead and make me a power check or wisdom. I guess this could be wisdom or power, depending on.
I would
what it
prefer
is.
power. It's what I
Okay.
have
I don't know.
more
This
edge
is also a
in.
pretty courageous bluff here.
Yeah, you're 100% lying to these people. I'm gonna call this.
Am I really? We said why we're going to be here. I don't really know what an appointment is. We were appointed.
We were appointed to go
So-
talk to this person about this thing.
Zariah's
call-
staff starts growing mint and lavender.
We're going to call this normally be a difficulty 5. I'm going to give you 2 assets for the fact that you have helped calm them down and you have mentioned the word nap. And so they just seem more willing to trust you.
Love it.
So overall,
Okay.
this is right now a difficulty 3. If
2
you have any
assets is
skills
max,
that
right?
apply, that might get better.
Skills.
So you have to beat a 9.
What's the maximum assets you can apply to roll out? Is it
You can
2?
only have 2 assets on any
And
given
then I
roll.
can use, and then I can
And then yeah.
But can
And
I
then if you're-
assist by growing lavender?
effort, right? And then I can use effort. as
Yeah,
well?
so the way that the rolls work, you can have up to 2 assets, which aid from friends also counts
Oh.
as an asset.
Asset,
Your
that's right.
skills can, if you're trained or specialized in a skill, that will do either 1 or 2 levels. And then effort is a thing on its own, where first level effort's 3,
Yeah.
every level of effort after that's 2.
I,
So if
I
you wanted to
think
add effort, you could reduce it even more.
Perhaps Soraya and the lavender and mint might be helping, just the calming. And then I've got
Because
this-
you already have 2
that's right, that's an
assets, you
asset,
can't
isn't
get
it?
any
Yeah.
more.
Yeah, I was about to
So
say,
yeah.
we'd offer to help, but I feel like we're maxed out already.
Yeah.
Do I
So you
need,
don't-
in order to use my effort, do I need to explain or give a story for it?
No, right. Effort just means
Okay.
you're
You're
trying
good at it.
extra hard. If you
Okay.
want to come up with an explanation for how you do that, go ahead. But
I mean, I've got this really cute fox in my arms, and it's just giving like the pure little like almost Puss in Boots, just of the eyes.
Oh, God.
Oh my gosh, Kelsifer, buddy, you have been a pill today.
A menace.
I don't know. What do you do now?
What do I have to beat if I also want to expend 2 effort?
your first level will be 3, your second level will be 2. So it'd be 5 minus whatever your edge is in power.
Just 2.
So yeah, total of 3 points from your power pool to put 2 levels of effort. Now we
But
bring
what
it
am I
down to
what am I beating my live? Sorry, that's what I meant.
3.
You were already at difficulty 3.
yeah,
difficulty 1.
2 levels
so
of
you have to beat
effort
a
would bring
3.
it down to difficulty 1. So you'd need a 3 or higher.
Good luck.
Gonna have to re-roll that, but I have a real re-roll token
Ah!
because
Oh,
look. That is the first time I got a 2. And I was like,
Oh,
we're gonna
9 out
no!
of 10
reroll
chance
token.
here.
like a reason to use my reroll tokens.
Curious
which I
me
don't know
last
where I
session.
just put. There it is. I have quite a few, to be fair. So that
Me
that
crashing
I'm
into the
happy to be
wall
able to-
last session was the best case scenario of how my.
That is
fighting
a
could have
natural
gone.
20.
Hey!
I went
Not
from
only
a
that-
2 to a 20.
So
That is 0.
natural 20
Cheers.
means that you effectively get a free player intrusion. So feel free to
Fantastic.
think about how you want that to go. That being
Somehow we
said,
actually have an appointment. So
both of them just kind of go, do you have the appointment book? The other one goes, I don't have the appointment book. You're supposed to have the appointment book. I left it. Where did I leave it? It's somewhere around here.
And
Well-
I'm just gonna step in and be like,
I'm going to do you a huge favor. I will not mention to them that you lost appointment book. Like, this will be
And-
secret between us.
You watch as their face kind of lights up. You're so nice. Yeah, we really are. Like we've been dealing with a lot of people today, and they just have not been very nice to us
Oh,
at
they've been
all.
so rude. What have they been rude to you about?
She's trying to basically get them
Yeah.
to tell her as much information as possible. Like,
That's so mean.
Well,
You're so
like-
lovely.
There was this one guy who, like, he came here, and what he was talking about is apparently they found some spies that were here to like totally destroy all of our peoples, and we were like, how are spies getting into the world? Like that doesn't make sense. Like the Fourth Spanish aren't going to come over here. It doesn't make any sense. But they're
It-
like,
it
no,
doesn't
they
make
like came here and they had these people that were there and they were shooting fires off and things like that. We're like, yeah, sure. Like they can just control fire. Like that's the thing that you can do.
you're really smart. Why aren't you on council?
You know, I've asked them that very many times, and I think what we need to do now is let them in because they're probably late for their appointment because we're keeping them here. Oh, you know what? You're very right. So, yeah, I guess you guys should like go through and just be careful because right now they're kind of like really mad because like two members of the council have like just become that whole like shadow sickness thing, and so now
Oh,
they're
that
like
is
really upset.
tragic.
So yeah,
is real
just be like
sad.
real careful.
Oh, thank you. I appreciate you. Now remember,
Oh.
keep remembering to breathe and get a nap
Yeah.
when you can.
Yes, yeah, that's a great idea. I think like normally they don't let us nap when we're like on the clock, but
Oh no,
And
that
what they
makes sense.
don't
I
know-
understand.
what they don't know, like I'm really good. Like I can like take like 10 minutes, and it's like nobody even notices.
I believe you are king of power nap, and
Yeah.
so lightly napping that like no one would know if someone approached. You would wake instantly. Like it really harms no one. Yeah,
You and I are like totally on the same
cut from
wavelength.
same cloth, you and I.
Yes, I think like it's I think a lot of people don't realize just how great it is that we have people that have just civic duty in mind, and like people like you that are thinking about us civil servants and just how difficult our jobs can be. It's heartwarming.
I appreciate you. Thank you, friend. Thank you. I hope you get some rest. Maybe some nice chamomile tea later.
Oh, that would be very nice. Yes.
Maybe some soup. Oh, it's such a good day for soup. It was raining earlier. I love soup.
Oh, so good. Soup with like just little bits of like vegetables and it's just warm.
Absolutely. When you
and-
hear the rain on your roof and you're like having the soup. Oh, pure cozy peak.
She's
Cheese
like
toasties.
she's like just
Yeah.
motioning people to go through the door.
I assume like everyone else is just slowly moving their way through.
And it's just like
Yep.
"Yeah."
Great. Love you so much. Mwah, mwah. Get some rest.
As the door closes, she's like,
I believe I have completed a deception.
I'm just gonna let you do the talking from now on.
You
I
you
feel
did it.
like I am like one of those book characters. Oh, I can't wait to go home and tell my family about these later. They're going to laugh so much.
So very quickly, to recap what we heard. Before we came in, they mentioned that there was a group of like
Yeah, someone
other
beat us here.
people.
Yeah,
Someone
oh,
beat
I
us
think they were
here.
talking
and-
about us.
100%.
Mhm.
They were talking that the spies, that's us.
Yeah, no, we're yeah.
Oh,
Yep.
So that is the environment we are walking into. Is they are freaked
great.
out about
I
us.
was assuming that was somebody else. I did not realize that was
Nope.
related
No,
to
that's
us.
us.
That's the
There
paranoia.
with the whole
that
like
they
the
have now
fire and
spread
the
here.
lightning, and I'm like,
Someone
that's
just
us.
sprinted across
Oh.
human place, and
Right, the fire and lightning, and that's you.
Right. So okay.
Okay.
The
You guys have been here for a little over like a day and a half because it took a decent amount of time for Mato to
And
be able
we're
to do that.
That's
practically
true. They could have sent
famous
a scout as
now.
soon as we showed up.
What?
Yeah.
Did I ever show them that I could do the fire ability, or did they just assume it came from us?
No, to my understanding, you haven't used any of your
Yeah.
abilities while being here. They someone came in and claimed that someone saw you. So very much
Okay.
kind of third-hand information that they just took as gospel truth.
Got it.
That's fun.
Well,
So notice you guys are kind of in the inner chamber. Where you guys are specifically, you're in kind of an antechamber, and at the other end there is a doorway with no doors that seems to. There's stairs that lead up, and you can still hear voices speaking. They don't seem quite as emotion filled as they were previously, but you can definitely hear a conversation happening that is robust enough that it's difficult to pick out particular phrases from where you are.
okay, so the guards were supposed to have the appointment book on them. Oh, but that means one of the council members could have it. I'm trying to think how far we can get away with. Yes, we actually have an appointment, but they could prove that we don't.
Well, I don't think anyone beyond this point is probably going to ask us about appointment because I think that was their job, and let's be honest, don't seem very good at it.
No.
They also seem like a little too old for the job they are doing right now, and maybe they just need a good rest, poor souls.
I think it's been a while since they had to, really do their job.
Really have to move
Yeah.
at all.
Okay. So we arrive respectfully, but also like we are meant to be there. Deny any knowledge of fire. And other than those two things, be completely honest.
Okay. So
Oh,
as you
I
guys
can be honest.
as you guys
Not
come in,
blunt, just honest.
as you guys come in, you can see a room set up, kind of akin to what you might see like a courtroom-esque thing, where you have a chair that is up on a dais, and then you have multiple kind of desks. This is set up with multiple chairs at them. However, it seems like no one is using the setup of this room the way it's intended. You can see there are 3 people kind of standing in the center of this room with a makeshift table kind of in front of them. On the table itself is numerous papers and other things that are just kind of piled high, some of them spilling off. And all 3 of the figures just kind of turn and look at you with this look, which is a mixture of kind of incredulity and exasperation.
Hello.
Hey,
Hello.
One of them, who seems to be wearing some kind of robes of office, looks at you and goes, "And you are?"
Here to help.
you're the ones that have information about stopping the Shadow Curse.
Yeah.
And as you say that, all 3 of them instantly get this very kind of puzzled look. "I'm sorry, did we send for you?"
Someone did.
Yeah.
I'm not entirely sure if it was you personally. We haven't been, but we were sent for.
All I know is that we're supposed to be here, so I'm assuming
Yeah.
you're the ones we're supposed to talk to.
And he just next. Here's another gentleman, significantly kind of taller. Looks almost like someone took a regular Minish and just stretched them. And he goes, "My lord, I do not remember us sending for anyone in some time." And he kind of looks over and he has this like permanent sneer that just seems to
I
be
know
part
it's
of
gonna
his face.
immediately look shocked of like,
You mean you are in desperate need of help and you have not asked anyone?
Well, that seems really irresponsible from a leadership point of view, if you ask me.
Look, we can come back, but we figured this was urgent, so
Yeah.
The
So
The person that was sneering at you still, again, face stuck in a permanent sneer. But I know you instantly watch him just be completely kind of disarmed and like, I-
Because he just admitted that they haven't sent for anyone in quite some time, and it's like, you guys are in serious trouble and you haven't sent for anyone.
that sounds like a
he's
skill
doing
issue, my
everything
friend.
he can to come up with some kind of response to that. The other gentleman, kind of quite the opposite. Looks like you take a normal Minish and you just kind of squished them down a little bit.
Hamburger.
Very kind
Neither
of
of them are
rotund.
actual Minish.
very
How
rotund.
did
He
we go
goes,
here?
how did it dare you? We are the advisors to the mayor. Of course, we're doing everything that we can. It's simply because my colleague here doesn't remember sending for you. I mean, I remember sending before. Your name is escaping
Oh
me
my
for
goodness,
just
I
a
am
moment.
so glad because for a minute there, your colleague had me very worried that you guys were taking the situation just so lightly.
Everybody in the room now seems completely confused. They're just there's the
This is
Uh,
and they're
literally
like all of them are
Ino's
kind of
strong
looking at
points.
each other, going, "Maybe did we forget that we called them?"
the name's
Um,
Adesh.
yes, and he just kind of looks at your hand and then looks back at you. I am Olio, uh, advisor to the mayor in matters of commerce and economics. This is Tulio, and the one with the the one with the kind of permanent smear. I am in charge of growth and development of the town Minish population.
And you
Thank
Oh.
Is it because he's so tall?
And then
Sorry,
obviously,
stretch them.
Sorry, growth of the population.
Yeah, that's what he
He's
said.
got a
So
big
you're
job.
in charge
going
of
past
making
it.
sure everybody has sexy time?
Yep. Yep.
Yep.
Or
He's in charge
being
of
the
sperm
one.
bank.
My
Tell me you
God.
outsourced that. No. We broke Jody.
He did.
Hey, babe, can you run to the city council real quick to see if we can get it on? I just,
Ah.
there's a movie called Kids in America. It's not a phenomenally well-made movie. However, there's a line in it where it's about these kids taking on their school, and it's that whole underdog thing. And there's a line in it about you have a person teaching sex ed who I'm fairly certain has never seen himself naked. And
so it takes place in Texas.
pretty close.
Ah.
Yeah, that just came to my mind as you're all thinking of that. And then the man goes, "Well, of course, I am the mayor of this town. Did you obviously already know?" You can see they're introducing themselves because they really have no idea what to say to you guys.
This is perfect. This is literally what Ino would do to get out of trouble.
And they're just and so finally the mayor, you can see that the mayor seems to be much more quick thinking than his two compatriots here, and goes, "Obviously, you have some sort of presentation for us. That's why we've called you here. So go ahead and give your presentation."
Out of curiosity, through any point at this
Curiosity?
time, at any since I'm coming in later, at any point during this time, did we get the impression that they also may follow a goddess?
Religion has not been something that you've spoken about.
Cool.
And the conversations that you had, like everyone is like hyper focused on this shadow sickness. So that is like the topic of religion or beliefs or anything like that is just not come up with anyone you've spoken with or with whom you've spoken.
I don't just kind of briefly look over at Adesh and then be like, nope, just going for it. And then like be like, presentation, I got this. And it has Ido jump down or a key jump down. And I can't remember, is he able to do some kind of projection in this form?
In this form, no. He's a little
Okay.
lightning fox.
Cool.
He is Jolteon.
Does anyone have a writing instrument perchance?
You can
I
use my
always do
notepad.
better
I
with
got a pen right here. Or
Brilliant. Thank you. Oh, thank you. So good. All right. So
And she draws the door of the temple.
Okay.
and she goes, I received a vision. It has been haunting my dreams for many days now about this temple, the Temple of the Minish. You are familiar, yeah? You are a man of the world. You are wise. You are smart, eh?
And the Tulio kind of turns to you, and his sneer kind of returns with this kind of smug superiority. Every school child knows the Temple of the Minish is a legend. It is a myth. We tell it to children to get them to go to bed.
Brilliant. I'm glad that's your relationship with it. I've actually seen it. Also, has your mother told you that your face would stick like that? Because I'm pretty sure it has.
How is she getting away with this?
So glad to see I'm rubbing off on you, Ina. Making my heart so happy.
You might try smiling now and then. It's great. It's good for you. Releases endorphins.
Why are you
Anyway,
I'm terrified.
I've never been more
He
horrified
seems-
in my life.
He
thought you were gonna
seems
say turned on, but then we'd have
incredibly
to get permission from
offended.
this guy.
But
Uh,
how can I really tell? Because that's how his face always looks.
Ew.
And
But does the mayor
you
look
can
like
see
he laughs?
him?
Yeah, did the mayor laugh about it? That's all that matters. Is did I make the mayor laugh?
The
Doing
mayor
good crowd work here.
seems preoccupied with the fact that you mentioned the Temple of the Minish.
Yeah. Okay.
Like as soon as you said
He knows
that,
it's
you
not
watch as the mayor's expression changed. The other two people just very kind of, not even kind of, very condescending. Oh, how adorable! They believe in the Temple of the Minish. But the mayor's the only one that seems to have taken you seriously.
Cool. So clocking that, like,
I can tell you, sir, also. This is not some childhood story to you, no?
And both Tulio and Olio look over with this kind of look of incredulity. Well, it's just simply not something that the greater population really needs to know about. It's a private matter, and it's been sealed for generations.
Can I remember? Can I surface read his thoughts?
Do it.
Just gonna be a god here. I am the chosen.
How long this surface read thing? How long does it last?
That's a good question. Let me look at.
We got up here pretty quick.
Because it does take an action to initiate.
It does. Oh shoot! I have too
It
many.
doesn't
tabs
have a
open. I'm
time
so sorry.
limit. I'm seeing.
It doesn't.
I
just
think
assumed
basically
it-
every
I'll take
time you
most
do this,
broken
it
ability
just-
for 500.
Yep.
I think every time you do this, it's going to take your action.
That's fine.
But because you're not in combat, quote unquote, it just means that anytime you want to read thoughts, it's an active thing, not a passive. You can hear thoughts. You have to actively focus on something. Does that make sense?
Yes, absolutely.
I'm assuming it
Okay.
takes points to use, usually.
Pulls it out. So
It does. I've got good edge.
Okay.
One might say I have.
Don't tell
A
the
real
person in charge of
advantage.
repopulation.
So as you kind of focus on his thoughts, I'm also going to say it does limit you, because it's an active thing, it does limit you to reading one person at a time.
No, that's fine. That's fine.
Okay.
I specifically the mayor specifically. I don't give a fuck
The
about
two guards
it,
were
too.
basically
Because
one
he just
person.
full out admitted that that there's
Yeah.
something about the general population doesn't need to know, which means he knows more than the other two. The other
Hmm.
two are not of use to me.
So as you're reading his thoughts, they are going a mile a minute. And since you didn't start reading it until after you recognized that he recognized the term Temple of the Minish, you don't know when it started going, but you're getting these flashes very, very quickly of the things like, how does she know? Is she from the Forest Minish? How could she have gotten there? It's been closed for how long? And then randomly you hear this word that you haven't heard anyone else use thus far. The word is Vati.
Plotting.
Oh.
Well, that's what the Chancellor was thinking before you started your mind reading.
Oh, that's right.
Mm-hmm.
They assumed we were agents of Vati.
Wait, was that? We didn't actually find out what Vati meant, right?
We knew that it was something
Bad
like they
guy.
consider evil. Yeah.
Yeah.
Ancient bad guy. There.
Oh,
I
that's
don't-
right.
I don't
We
think
are-
you guys have specifically
Okay,
gotten a
but-
definition for it, but it's
But
the
we knew it was
colloquialism. Yeah, colloquialism, basically, kind of boogeyman devil kind of
Okay.
thing. You know, the thing that they blame everything bad on.
Yeah. She's just going to I think repeat what she said to the Chancellor, you have the power within you to stop the Vati.
And as he says that, or as you say that, sorry, as you say that, you watch as again the mayor's blood drains from the mayor's face. The other,
I have a great talent for this.
the other two again just kind of look at you like you just said,
Fairy tale.
not even a fair, like you just said something very uncouth, like you just sworn, or used another colorful four-letter word.
Look.
And Olio just kind of turns to you and goes, "Well, that kind of language really has no place in an area such as this. You should be ashamed that you are saying such foul language in front of the mayor of your people.
Oh,
I
you think that's foul
demand
language?
that you apologize."
I can show you what real foul language is if you like.
He seems again just completely perplexed that you could respond that way. You guys are getting the idea that these people are not challenged on a regular basis.
They're never talked to like real people.
I will not apologize for speaking the truth that could save the people.
Finally, the mayor goes, "Well, you're going to have to be more specific. I'm not quite sure I understand your meaning."
There is, as you know, and I know you know.
just like doing that, and you
Every
know that I
time
know.
she just
Like
dwells
there's a
on that.
brief moment of just making this eye
Feel
contact
like I'm
with the
having
mayor.
a.
It's like,
I
you
know
know
that
that
you
I
know
know.
that we know that I know that you know that they know that we know.
that the temple is sealed. And I think if you look inside your heart, you know why. There has been ancient feud between our peoples, between us and the others. And the only way to reopen the temple that belongs to both of us is to mend that schism by coming together.
It's like the Chancellor's staff. Remind me, what was it?
Yeah, a staff of some sort.
Um,
You're again, it's never really been explained to you because no one's ever used it for the town minish. So Fubari
okay.
hasn't the foggiest idea what it is, but you assume it is some sort of staff because that's what the forest minish have.
In my vision, I saw you, Mayor, with some sort of artifact that belongs to our people of the town that you used along with their leader. He held a staff of some sort. It is murky in my mind. But together, your joined powers, the sign of even a temporary alliance, opened the gates, and the temple was able to be entered once more and beat back the shadows.
As she's saying this, I want
I know
Zariah
is
to
almost
sort of
buzzing because this is like something from a book she's read. I'm like, oh my god, this is so cool. I'm so sorry.
Due to the fact that,
I
again,
interrupted you,
you are
Chuck.
not particularly familiar with deception in general, I'm going to have you make another power roll. This is, again, going to be a difficulty for you excuse me, for you personally, it's going to be a difficulty 5. Again, you get your automatic 2 assets from the
Okay.
fact that you've completely disarmed these people. Sorry.
Okay. All right, my love.
-1 asset because Zariah said, "Oh, I'll show you foul language."
I think that disarmed them more. That really is 3
Yeah.
assets, if we're honest.
They're so far on their heels, they're almost sitting down. Like they're just so unprepared for this interaction.
And it was an offer. It's not like she outright did it to surprise them. She just
That's
was like,
true.
hey, if you'd like, I can show you what
Yeah,
actually
it wasn't a threat. It was actually
was an offer
it was
of
actually I'm
education.
trying to be helpful.
It was an
Would
offer
you like
for education.
Free
Yeah.
classes.
It was.
She's a benevolent teacher.
So yeah, with your 2
I
assets, it
teach
brings
like
it to
my
difficulty
mama.
3.
16.
60. Yeah. By the way, you still have that
Major effect.
major
Oh, yeah,
effect
that major
from your
effect.
20 last time. Have you kind of figured out something
Oh, I thought
beneficial that you would like?
that I had to use that.
You technically were supposed to use it on that roll, because there
everyone
really
forgot
wasn't
about
a
it.
better way for it to go. I just kind of went, well, come up with something. At this point, do you have an idea of some kind of benefit you'd like for the rest of this conversation, or something?
Trying to think. Does anyone else have any ideas of like what would you?
I guess what we could say is perhaps a light bulb has kind of gone off in Aino's head, where up until this point, the idea of deception in general was for an alien to you. It didn't make sense. Why in the
now
world
it's a
anyone would ever do that?
game.
And yeah, and now it's kind of clicked. It's that moment of, oh, this is how you use it. And basically going forward, I'm not going to have you roll to just any time you attempt to lie. If it's going to be a very difficult lie, you'll still have to roll, but
Oh,
you
heck
now
yeah.
you have the ability to lie. Let's call it that way. Does that work for
Guys,
you?
taught her how to lie.
Yay!
Go us.
Corruption successful. I'm so happy. She's
Oh,
got
no.
sass. She can lie.
Zariah's never been more
Baby.
proud in her life. She's just like, do it. You're just like a little adorable feathery Palpatine. Do it.
Yep. Oh, I don't have feathers right now. I'm fuzzy.
Oh, that's right. You're fuzzy, but you're cute. You're cute as heck. Do it.
You. She's like on her shoulder like this. The other side.
Yeah,
I
he on
need
this
art of
side,
Zariah.
Zariah on this side.
I mean, I think
need
that
art
gives
of-
me extra persuasion because I've got cuteness on this side and cuteness on this side, and they're both
I
giving me
need-
eyes. Yeah.
I need art of Zariah looking like Dark Kermit with the little robe, just doing do it, please.
Sass them.
Doing the tippy tappy feet though, really excited.
I love the tippy tappy feet.
All right,
I
so
love this.
Synapses connected.
what exactly was your lie again? I've completely forgotten the lie that you told.
Just now,
Yes, the one that I just made you roll
Which
for.
isn't really a lie.
I'm just calling it a dream instead of I saw it in your thoughts.
Convincing that they needed to come.
She's
together
convincing him like that
temporarily.
I've seen this vision of you and like the whole like you know it, I know it, we both know each other knows it.
So
This vision of you helping break this ancient grudge between you in order to finally open the sealed temple.
So, Tulio again looks at you with this just overwhelming sense of condescension, and goes, "This is not the time for fairy tales. we need an actual solution that we were very close to coming to. And while this is happening, the mayor has just started walking back to the dais with the, for lack of a better term, the throne. And he seems to be walking behind it while Tulio is just going on this just spree with Olio next to him, just kind of nodding emphatically. Very right. We don't need all of these fairy tales. Yes, and I understand living in the world of fairy tales can feel comforting, but we are rational beings here, and magic in fairy tales have no place in a rational society. Yes.
If they go on for too long, because I know he's getting
They
something
will.
back there.
Yeah.
If they go on for too long, can I would love to spend a PowerPoint, not to actually use the full ability of shock, but just static electricity.
Sure. I'm actually okay with
I hear
that.
if you yap too much, you'll get static shock sometime.
I'm just like that little bit of just, you're annoying. And like maybe it happens because Eki jumps down unnoticed and just kind of like weaves through their legs like a cat.
So
And it's a little staticky. And I'm fine spending a PowerPoint for that. Just to get the little ow.
as they're doing this, like they're getting more and more smug and more and more superior the longer they
so
talk.
rude.
And Aki kind of looks at you, and Aki, just being very in tune with your emotions, everything, can feel. I'm certain you have probably experienced this many, many times in your career, where someone is explaining something absolutely wrong to you, something that you know significantly more about than they do. And that feeling of kind of righteous indignation, as you know what you want to say, but you also realize that saying it will make the situation worse. And so it just kind of burns in your chest, and just below your voice box, you can feel the words forming, but you're going, no, I'm above this. Aki reacts to that, and you can see
Aki is not above
Aki
this.
I'm
just sitting
above
there.
this. Aki goes, I'm not. Bet.
I was about to say,
not
he's like,
having
nah, I'm
that
still pissed.
that understanding that, you know, this is going to make the situation worse, and going, no, my person is upset, justifiably so. And so Aki just kind of looks at you, and you feel this kind of wetness on your cheek for a moment as Aki just kind of licks you a couple of times and then jumps down, and no malice in his art whatsoever, just very kind of prancing over, and he kind of looks up at the person who is completely ignoring him because he's so up his own ass. He's like, this world of fantasy that lesser minds feel the need to really and you watch as just this little kind of happens, and Aki, there's little bits of smoke coming off of Tulio as this just little jolt has gone over his entire body. You can see like little bits of steam and everything, and like his hair is all frazzled. It was all covered underneath this very kind of elaborate cowl before, and it's like poking out in places. And Aki turns around, almost as if he's like burying something that he has left behind. Just does a couple little kicks on the marble floor, and then walks back and just kind of pops down at your feet and kind of does one of those little circle things that dogs do, like circles, and then just right at your feet, like literally on top of one of your feet. Just
Scritch.
And Olio is looking at him and looks at you and then looks at the fox. And suddenly you hear the sound of wood on stone. And the mayor has come back with a very elaborate looking staff with a gem in the top of it that has a carving on it that looks very similar to the symbol that you saw on the Temple of the Minish that hadn't been lit up before. Imp, you and I have the exact same brain about this. It's a small, off-duty Czechoslovakian traffic warden. If you guys don't know what that's in reference to, go watch Red Dwarf. It is amazing. I believe that one's from
Oh.
season 3, episode 1. And yes, I know the show that well.
Is this an
Look, what does
anime?
that mean?
Crichton is a mechanoid and he can't lie, and so Lister's trying to teach him how to lie. So he holds up an apple and he goes, "What is this? It's an apple, sir. What is it? It's a small off-duty Czechoslovakian traffic warden."
Okay.
It's like, great, man. That's brilliant. So,
Wild.
It's a Jigglypuff from above.
Uh, so, and then the final. No. It's like, what? I'm sorry, Mr. Lister. It's a banana. It's a small yellow fruit that you unzip and eat the soft bits. I was just really love
Wow,
that
I
description.
do not. Oh my god.
Anyway,
You know what they
so,
say, folks? Unzip and eat the soft bits.
I mean,
So-
I don't even know what to say.
The
Anyway.
Mayor comes
You have
forward
to run
and
by
he
the
has
guy
the
in charge
staff,
of
and
repopulation
both
first.
Tulio and Olio are looking at him and going, sir, is there something you wish to inform us of? And the mayor, seeming to just ignore his two advisors, turns to you, I know. We have a problem, unfortunately. As much as we have the artifacts, we have no way to power it.
You know what powers it?
Well, it has not been used in 6 or 7 generations since we originally sealed the power of Vati in the temple. The stories mention everyone coming together and imparting some of their own force, but this was at a different time. The town Minish, we are so separate from each other. The various families are closely linked, but over the generations, the divide between peoples have become more and more severe. I simply don't think we have the ability to get everyone together, much less a place where that would be safe. And there's so many town Minish. We would have to find an area that was large enough that we could all exist simultaneously without drawing the notice of the tall ones.
Like maybe a party in the forest?
Oh no, that simply would be impossible. I mean,
no, that
that'd be-
makes sense because, this problem is very recent. It wasn't a problem back then because you were all together then and you were more friendly and, there was bonds and familiarity. And clearly the problem couldn't be that now you are all separate and not actually having that togetherness because, oh, wait. That is the only difference that used to be.
I'm a bit of a scientist, and I think you will realize logically.
I mean, I have very smart colleagues. Colleagues, what do you think?
Olio kind of looks at you and looks back at the mayor and goes, I'm very sorry, my lord, but I do believe the smart one is insulting us.
The smart one is
No, we are
insulting.
not insulting the mayor, I promise.
No,
Yeah,
absolutely.
no.
I would never insult the mayor.
And both Tulio and Olio kind of do one of those,
Got him.
well, seeing as you seem to have all the answers,
I'm not
perhaps you can tell me how we can get hundreds of town minish to the forest without any of the tall ones noticing whatsoever. I mean, having that many minish simply running around on the ground is, on a good day, it would be, with everything going on, preposterous. I'm glad you have come up with such a simple solution. But your solution is simply not possible.
Question here. What is the difference between it being impossible and preposterous? If on a good day, it's already impossible, what makes it more impossible to be oh god, what was the word?
Shield.
Preposterous. Like, how did we... I might
He
have
just
something
lets out
that
an
makes
exasperated sigh.
I might have something that might be able to help a little bit with that. And Motto pulls out the shield. And I'll describe it because I don't think Shax or Kiri were necessarily here for the version that we had.
Mark
I don't
II?
the Mark II. I don't know if I fully described it to you guys or if you were there for Mark I. It is a shield that has the like wingspan. It looks like it's like a bird's wingspan with a couple of places where you would put your feet and a couple of buttons, one to like engage it to go from small to large, a button that you can press on it, and then on the back you see a couple of different holes that look like have springs on it, or that look like have a cutout platform that look like shoot out to get propulsion. And all of that. And I kind of show it to them and say, this might be able to make this easier for your people to move around freely without that kind of worry.
Yeah, this is how we got here without being noticed by the large ones. Pretty simple.
Yeah.
I should also mention, I know another thing that you said when you were not here is you recommended that he added some sort of additional propulsion to the shield to prevent it from falling so far that you had to use your teleportability.
Oh, I like it.
Because I figured that would be something. I think
I
my
don't
exact
think-
phrasing was perhaps if you put like a rocket or maybe like a big fan that would like blow it, it would work better.
a good
I believe
show.
that's the first thing on my list.
Again, Tulio not quite understanding that he is not in control here. Goes, that's a wonderful looking shield, but we've had lovely shields for a very long time. They work very well. They stop people from hitting us.
That's not quite what this is for.
Excuse us, tall man. Grown-ups be speaking. Maybe you should go play with your dolls over there. I don't. Meadow, please continue with your beautiful explanation.
He seems very offended.
But who
I
can
know.
tell? Again, his face is
Motto looks at you for a second with like a, oh my goodness, that's the nicest thing people have said to me.
Oh, buddy.
Please continue speaking.
I specialize in making shields that are, yes, you can use it to defend yourself, sure. But the shields that I design are designed to do something else. Mostly surfing. Like surfing the landscape, surfing hills, surfing other things. And this one can surf the air. Glide, if you will.
It's really cool.
If the problem with being on the ground means that you are a target, then why not try not using the ground and go a level up? I am happy to give a demonstration.
Oh, yeah.
He it still seems the mayor still seems kind of perplexed by this whole idea. So he goes, "Oh, of course, demonstration that would make sense." And again, Tulio and Olio are so out of their depths at this point that they're not even acknowledging anymore. Like Tulio's sitting going, "What dolls? I have no dolls. I have not
good.
played with dolls." And they weren't dolls; they were action figures. They had like 6 or 7 different
Oh, no.
articulations, and like,
No,
it was
this
a
is
different.
the best. This is the best. Is after he was so rude to us and kept talking down to us. He's just-
So they're off in their own world trying to figure out how anyone could have the gall, the unmitigated.
The audacity.
The audacity.
I learned it from my beautiful friend.
Is there space in this room to demonstrate, or do we have to go outside?
How big is
Uh,
this space?
Ask Zaraya today if audacity is right for you.
Don't ask me.
Side effects may include.
Side effects may include
Burns.
Loss of
stress.
friends by gaining them other friends.
Mini burns.
Being awesome.
It is not large enough for you to do a demonstration here because while this area, again, it looks effectively like a courtroom,
Got it.
but not like a massive courtroom. However, you have done demonstrations before in small rooms, and Dilly is ready and willing to
Oh yes.
miniaturize to do another demonstration. Otherwise, you can just go outside and basically travel to the next roof and travel back.
We should do the
But
mini
do we
one
want to
first.
scare someone with magic who he doesn't?
I would
doesn't
like
believe in it?
to.
It's
Yeah,
minish
I
magic.
feel-
it's shrinking. It's fine.
I'd like to show it myself on this one.
Oh,
I think.
Okay.
Because
Can-
I. f-
Go ahead, sorry.
No, continue.
Oh, I was about to say, can Zaraya do it because she knows how to fly?
Sarai's so bad. It's like, just let me fly.
I just
Just
wanna
for the
fly
love
again.
of all that is holy, let me fly. I
I
used to
got
be able to
this.
do it without thinking.
You'll
I
get
didn't
to-
need a damn shield.
You'll get to fly. I promise.
Right, just standing behind
But-
him like glaring.
Oh.
I look behind. We'll both show you. Would you like to?
Sure.
Would you like to fly?
Sure. Yeah, we have two. We have
We'll
two.
show you how to do it and how not to do it.
Can decide which is which. Depending
Oh,
who's successful.
Mado,
Yeah, we can go outside.
you make such a good example.
Oh.
I don't know.
Gladys,
saying
sorry.
the nicest
Gladys.
thing that anyone's ever said to Mato, and then Zaraya following up.
Balancing it out.
That's fair.
Gotta keep
Um,
the ego in check.
I was like, would you care to join us outside? We will give you a demonstration. And as I look, I'll give Zaraya one of the shields and says, you know how to fly. Feel free to have some fun with it. I'll show basics. You can go you can show advanced.
Ah, I
Very
love
so
it.
So
happy.
the mayor, without saying another word, just kind of follows you guys. This is out. As you get outside, the wind itself has picked up a little bit more than it was the last time you were out, but it's still relatively pleasant. And both of you have very little difficulty kind of riding the wind currents to get to the other side. Zaraya does some like loop-de-loops and barrel rolls and stuff like that.
They're so cool.
Don't say
While
that in front of
Mado is much more kind of like pinpoint turns and shifts and things like that, where as he's going, like he goes this way and then he kind of turns really sharply and goes back, and like just shows kind of the more maneuverability of it, while as Zaraya is just showing,
her. Off.
Off.
yeah.
Occasionally, as I'm
showing off.
going, I'll look at Zaraya just to see how they see them like hopefully having a good time.
No, Zaraya's having a blast.
Sorry, just
And like
And looking at
slight
being like-
tears are in her eyes as she's flying, not because of the wind.
Big Motto
mean,
looks at
probably
that and
because of
just
the
makes me very
wind.
happy. Motto looks at it and just like, good. Before they land back.
Was the wind that bad up there, Zaraya?
Yes, it was really bad. Don't go that high.
Okay.
No, do go that high.
Okay.
So the mayor is kind of blown away by this. Tulio and Olio are
Literally.
still trying to figure out how you could have the audacity. So they barely watched what you guys are doing.
Oh, I assume they were still in the building.
They followed simply because their job is to advise this person, so they
Oh, okay, so
instinctively
they
just
did
follow
follow.
him.
Got it.
But it was purely subconscious. Like they are in their own little worlds right now, trying to deal with this challenge that they've never experienced before.
Got it. So it's not. We're still working out some things with it. This is the second version. There's still work I have to do with it. But this is where we're at right now.
Well, I mean,
Pretty cool, huh?
it's a wonderful invention and things like that. However, I see a grand total of 2 of them. To get
Right, I've only
hundreds
made
of
2.
Minish to a place we could all be together, it would take weeks.
Do you know what? It would not take weeks and seem to sprout up instantaneously. Weeds.
And he kind of looks at you.
Oh,
Perplexed.
she's very smart. She's very smart.
What if we had a lot of weed sprouts? Not like, what if we had a whole bunch of weed sprouts?
Not like I love it. Not like
What?
I don't
Advisors
think
continue to
anyone
be
would
See
flabbergasted.
how
that
getting the
is-
population high is going to really help this
Well,
situation.
we just saw
But
him
it
get
sounds
that.
like a good idea. I'm in.
No. Let her cook. Hold on.
Speaking of,
Julio's just like, no.
Malcolm.
Let her. I think this is a good idea.
Like, wait, get me some hot water while I'm doing this. Trust me, you could use some tea.
Oh,
So I have a lot of. She turns to Aino and kind of whispers, "Which would be better, sprout or seed?" She's like,
Sprouts,
"Okay,
I
perfect.
suppose.
That's what I thought too." Okay, so
You're smart. Go with your gut. You're good. You're good.
that's true. I'm just checking.
All right, I
Um,
appreciate you.
I've got quite a large collection of weed sprouts of different varieties that tend to grow very, 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 very rapidly. Might we create a field of them to go through across? Actually, I can propagate them pretty rapidly on my own.
Well,
And if you feel like that wouldn't be enough, I mean, there are some of us who are very good at creating distractions that could distract large people in other directions, potentially.
yeah.
I think that might have some merit. And Olio goes, "Well, my lord, this is highly unusual." And the mayor
Cheers,
cuts him
Olio,
off.
can you get me some tea? Can you get me some hot water? A couple of cups as well, please. Thank you.
And again, just looks at you with, like, if looks could kill, you would burst into flames.
Now we know
She
where the
smiles. She's
fire's
so
coming
used
from.
to that. That's how I dry my herbs.
And
love
the mayor cuts him off and goes, Olio, I think a combination of distraction and concealment could provide us with what we need. Now, the tall ones have an extreme distaste for weeds in general. They tend to get rid of them rapidly.
Yes, but surprisingly not pretty ones that produce flowers.
Well,
I tend to admire them until the flowers start to die.
what I'm
For some
I'm
reason.
thinking here is this would need to be coordinated, and to be blunt, I am not aware of any other town Minish that would be willing to act as a distraction. So the distraction
Oh.
portion would need to be handled entirely by yours.
That is
Yeah.
Oh,
fine.
we are
That's fine.
so good at distracting. It's
we can
basically
handle
my
it.
second career.
We've already brainstormed 2 different ways to do it, so I'm sure we'll
Yeah.
figure it out.
We
Well,
will.
Hey,
We
Dash is
will
real great
help.
with fire.
Then
Am
Let's-
I wrong?
No.
They don't need to know that.
let's how long do you need to get your weeds grown?
I think the
Thanks.
more appropriate question, if you'll permit me, is more how long do you need to let the Minish know they need to gather? Like, how much would people need that? That's a lot, right? Because I feel
Well,
Zariah.
I can send runners. We have runners at the bases of the towers that could probably inform the entirety of the population in 24 to 36 hours. I think that would be doable.
So Zariah, knowing that,
How far of a distance is it
Uh,
to the Corsium?
he kind of shows you basically where he thinks if they could all get to the barn is a large enough area
oh, fantastic.
that is not frequented by the tall ones very often, that they could do it in the barn.
Which was
um,
300 feet from ish where we were.
Oh, it's a lot more than 300
Going
feet
to?
at this point.
Oh,
Um,
right, because we've
'Cause you've gone
moved
all
away
through
from
the
it.
town.
We
Basically,
travel
he
on
kind of the council hall and starts throwing out papers and stuff like that. And eventually, there's a very large map of the town. And with a combination of Zariah and everyone else kind of working together, you guys kind of show where you would need to grow the weeds, everything like that. You think you can probably get the entire population, depending on how well you make a power roll for your weeds. You could probably have all the weeds grown that you would need to have grown within probably about 2 or 3 days.
Okay. Perhaps about 2 or 3 days. Thank you.
All right, then I will send the runners immediately and tell them let's aim for 3 days in case things go poorly. That does mean in 3 days you have to have your distraction ready.
Oh, that one's a big problem.
Easy.
3 days, that's a lot of time for a distraction. We normally have like
oh no,
5
just
minutes.
to properly, like, you know,
To plan it.
Oh.
Fully planned.
to see which building maybe.
Right, well, we have a plan. Tulio, Olio, why don't both of you inform the runners of what they need to do, and then probably what would be best for you is to prepare for the journey. I know, Olio, you in particular, tend to not enjoy long bits of travel, so you might want to prepare yourself, if you know what I'm saying.
I don't. I want to know what you're saying.
And so Olio kind of looks down at his more plump form, takes a bit of offense at it, and then
Their faces, it's so naturally so sour.
I have some work to do, so if you would excuse me.
Really quick. Is there someone or an area that has any sort of other tools or people that make weaponry or defense things or anything that I might be able to talk to?
There is a rather gifted tinkerer, lives with the Barn families.
Barn families. Okay.
Barn. Where we
So
just
I've
came
already
from.
I've
Yeah,
already
we
talked
just
to them
did- we
then.
just
Great.
did, yeah.
Okay. Just wanted to double check to see if there was
Actually-
anybody.
Actually, is there an alchemist in town? Sorry, an apothecary. What are they called here?
Probably an apothecary.
Yes,
Chemical person.
There is
chemical.
There is,
That's what
and
Amanda would
he
say.
kind of goes out to the kind of balcony that you guys landed on, and he kind of points over. If you see that shop over there that has the multiple chimneys on it that always seem to be spewing forth lots of different things,
Yes.
in the base of that building there is a small family that tends to deal with our medicinal needs.
Fabulous. Maybe a day and a half then.
All right then. Well, yes, I will see you all in a few days.
Thank you very much.
72 hours.
Before that happens,
72 hours remains.
can Soraya grow some like holy basil from her arm
I'm
band
sorry.
bracer?
Holy basil?
Yeah,
There
it's
is a
called holy
blessed
basil.
version of basil?
There
Yeah,
is.
obviously.
There
Is this a real thing that I was not aware of?
It is a real thing, yeah, and it's considered a religious herb, spiritually as well as medicinally in India.
Really?
It is, yeah. Check it out. It helps reduce. Supposed to help reduce anxiety, depression, insomnia. So, can I grow like a lot of leaves because you need quite a bit to make a tea, and give them to the mayor and be like, you might want to have your advisor drink these during meetings.
And he just kind of looks at it and smells it. I would assume, does it smell similar to actual basil?
Yeah,
Okay.
you mix it.
So he
with some
smells as
ingredient,
like-
it's actually quite good.
It smells very aromatic.
It is. Highly recommend though. Give it a try.
All right. And he kind of goes off. Yeah, I keep meaning to mention this, but I always forget about it when Kiri's here. Renegade Game Studios is releasing 2 books that I immediately thought of you. One's called The Herbalist's Guide to Something or something like that. What it literally is it's a full book meant for like GMs and that the entire purpose is listing herbs and things like that and how
To
they're
process them?
well no how they've been used in myth and legend and stuff like that as magic and stuff like that. And then they have another one that's all about minerals and stuff like that.
Are they like
Love
real
it.
plants? Like peyote is
They're-
in there? And
Yeah, actual
where
real
can
plants.
I buy this book?
It's not out yet.
Okay.
But I think it's coming out this fall. But yeah, it blew my mind with just like it just sounds like such a good thing. Like if you want to be a game master and add medicinal plants or things like that or magic plants there, it's going to have all these plants from folklore and real plants and how they've been used in various places and what their magical qualities are.
That's cool.
Isn't
Nice.
it? It's like the greatest idea ever, and I have no idea how this is not a thing already. But
It kind of is, just not in that sense. Like, there's a lot of herb books, but they usually, like, one will focus on, like, this is the lore, and another will focus on, this is the historical medical uses. Like, they don't usually put it together.
yeah. And again, this one is specifically designed for game masters to use in tabletop RPGs.
Just
So,
make
Nice.
my searches easier when writing a book.
Nice.
so anyway, I just as soon as I read it, I immediately thought of you, and also went, I need both of these books. And
Right.
as Imp has pointed out, I think it's called the Herbalist's Primer.
Yeah,
something
I just
similar
pulled
to
it.
that.
I just pulled it up. Exalted Funeral is the one that's publishing it.
No, then then you have the wrong book.
Oh.
Because this is literally from Renegade Game Studio.
Oh no, it's the same book. I see it in 2 different places because Hunter's Entertainment's also got a name on it.
Herbalist Primer, yeah.
Yeah, Hunter.
It's,
Yeah,
it's
Hunter's
from
Entertainment.
Hunter's Entertainment.
Yeah.
And Renegade might be publishing it.
That's probably what it is.
So why is it also on Exalted Funeral? No worries.
I know.
Whatever.
Anyway, if anyone's looking for it, I'll put a link in the Twitch chat. But
Oh,
yeah,
of course this is by Hunters.
I mean, Hunter's.
why, are you not
Hunter's-
a fan of Hunters or?
No, I know most of the people who work there.
Oh,
What about Metroid Prime Hunters?
Not Metroid
It's on
Prime.
brand for Hunters because they do so many things.
So, anyway, I just thought it was really cool. So, back to the game. you guys have effectively 2-ish days to plan your distraction. And unfortunately, Zariah will not be able to be a part of that because Zariah is going to be putting all of her effort towards cultivating and growing all these weeds as quickly as possible.
I'd like to go to that apothecary.
Okay.
Because it's very much an alchemisty kind of thing. I'm gonna come in with a very weird request.
Okay. So again, getting to the apothecary, very, very simple.
Mm-hmm.
When you enter it, the first thing that you notice is when you go into the room, it is kind of night and day. Outside, it's kind of dry. It's summerish season. When you go in, it is this thick, kind of almost swampy, high humidity of a room, and there is just this mixture of scents that you've never thought of mixing before. But you get almost a bit of a, not really a high, but if you've ever been kind of overwhelmed with a lot of different smells, you just get that kind of, your vision swims for a little bit. And you can see this plump woman in the back with a large cauldron. It seems to be mixing things, and as soon as you kind of come in, she goes, "Hello, what can I do for you?"
Hello.
Hi.
The mayor sent me, and I'm here to learn.
Lovely. What are you learning about?
How to process plants into different chemical compounds, as well as like how to rapidly dry things. Do you have any extra like flasks and materials that I could potentially, use on the go? Do you have a book that I could read?
Well,
Recipes and strategies.
I've got many things around the shop, and they're very nice. I wasn't expecting to be teaching anyone today. It's I've got quite a big load. I guess
I
we
can
could
assist.
I guess we could start with just the basics of flowerology. So if you go over there, you see all the flowers. Like each one has a separate name and use. And let's see. And you see her just kind of lifting up. There are books everywhere, and it looks like they have just kind of fallen in various places. And she's looking through it. It's the wrong one. Ah, here's one. And she gets this book, and as it's given to you, you realize this is effectively like a children's book. Like, A is for amaranth.
Yep.
B is for basil.
So I'm actually quite versed in different types of flowers and plants. Quite well versed. Do you have anything a little bit higher level, like already processing these kind of things?
Of course. I misunderstood you. Yes. And she keeps going, and she keeps looking, and I remember. And she kind of goes through a door that you didn't realize was a door at first. And she comes out with this massive tome and just kind of drops it on the floor in front of you. And it comes up to like your mid calf. That is everything that you need, yes.
Fantastic. Thank you so much. Do you mind if I take this back to the mayor's?
That's fine. Just bring it back when you're done.
All right, thank you.
I have
so
about a third of it memorized.
Perfect.
Wow.
Thank you so much. And it has techniques on how to process things as well.
Oh, it's got everything in there. It's very lovely.
Oh, wonderful. You just made my heart so happy. Thank you so much.
Open it up. If you've ever, I don't know if you've seen the, I think it's called The Joy of French Cooking. Julia Child's
Yes,
first
I have it.
cookbook.
I have it all right here.
Okay.
Wow.
If you've ever seen like the first printings of her book, I don't know if they've updated it now to make it look prettier.
They have,
but
and I have
her-
one of the original.
Does it have like the stains on it on the binding?
does.
Oh, that's cool. I like
It's
that.
the original
Sorry,
version
original.
of The Joy of French Cooking, where it looks like a textbook.
Yeah. Do I have it?
Yeah,
right here?
that's basically what this book looks like.
That's cool. It's
By the way, the fact that you have
I mean, this is on brand for Chax.
Wait,
I'm not gonna
anyone?
lie.
Anyone?
By the way, for anyone that doesn't know, Julia Childs was probably one of the most amazing people that have ever lived.
And the other one too.
And The Joy of French Cooking, still a fantastic book if you don't mind cooking with a lot of butter.
And sherry, butter and sherry.
Butter and sherry, yep.
Oh,
Mhm.
they're so good. But yes.
But the dishes themselves are still, as much as they're not in vogue anymore, they're still really good. Like her boeuf bourguignon
So
is
good.
still a phenomenally delicious
so good.
disc. It's just it's a very, like, a lot of the food there is extremely rich.
It also shows you like how to dissect things properly and how to set
Yep.
them up, and so
So effectively, like, that
Sure.
is what you've been given, is you've been given the joy of French herbalism.
While
Bonjour,
Uh,
Sophie.
while Zaraya is looking at all that,
oh, she's taking it back. Someone else is going to transcribe it for her while she grows sprouts and like reads it to her
Gotcha.
shoulder.
while that's happening, and once Zaraya gets all of the stuff they need done, I'd also like to talk to this.
I do for you, young man?
So this is kind of a weird specific thing, but I would like to see if you have anything on this. Anything? Do you happen to know any ways to essentially make something to essentially make kind of a rockety propulsion system?
No.
Okay.
I
Before
very many
leaving,
things that burn.
Dash verbally laughing next to Madam.
did you come with us?
Wait, are you with us?
Sorry, have you
Where
have
else
you
am I
ever
gonna be?
built a rocket? A what?
Or maybe let me
I
explain.
just love the
Chemicals that-
idea of you going in and asking immediately about explosives.
Let me let me explain. And Mato takes out a thing, like a notebook, and kind of draws. It's like, so I'm trying to get a way to lift up further on the ground, and I don't know if there is a way, maybe that like using some sort of chemistry or anything like that to get that.
You tried climbing higher, because that would make it much easier to get higher if you stopped
You know,
from a
I
higher
thought of that.
position.
Here's the thing: it's also in air.
Sorry. Oh, never mind.
No, continue. What were you gonna say?
No, you're good.
She's in her little world.
You get the idea that this, as much as she is an apothecary, explosives and things like that do not seem in her wheelhouse in any way, shape, or form.
Okay.
Much more about herbalism, potion making, things like that. She does kind of point out various effectively kind of pitch that burns at various temperatures, and she even has a few that burn in various colors that give off different colors of smoke. But as far as combustion and things like that, it's really, as far as her knowledge is concerned, is the creation of heat, because creating heat is useful for potion making. And then again, various smokes and other things like that.
Okay.
Nima, you got a recipe for rocket fuel?
Hey, I had to ask. I'm sorry.
Of course. Yeah,
you know,
these
though-
people are a little behind. They're not quite to the black powder stage of development.
But the different color flame might be something I can work with for distraction. Let me get the books for or anything about that.
Effectively, she's found a bunch of materials, mostly minerals, that when mixed into pitch or other things that just burn for a long time, if they're mixed correctly, they will just burn various colors, and then the smoke itself will also change colors. Very similar if you've ever set wrapping paper on fire.
Is that's something I have wrapping paper? Wild. Okay.
Yeah, if you again, growing up in a place where we
Can't
as
say
a
I've
way
never.
to get rid of waste, you would burn things. Yeah, burning
I've
wrapping
never
paper.
burned wrapping paper before. Okay.
It burns very
Um,
pretty colors.
Huh. More you know. Yeah, I'll take
can
some
be
of
slightly
that
toxic.
and
It's not healthy. It's
I'll
not healthy at
I'll
all.
like take notes on some of that just so I have a lot of that and make
And she
maybe
has
collect
she has basically, you know, your not the
Okay.
big one, but like the small one. So she has some of that already made.
Great.
You know, Moto, Dilly has a couple of bombs still from Aruna. I don't know if you could.
I do
use
too.
those. Okay, yeah.
But this multicolored fire might be better than something that can be a concussive, like a blast that can potentially cause damage, because this essentially will be a little bit of both a smoke screen and a distraction, because I'll follow that versus any of the Minish. So as a distraction, it would work. I still need to figure out a way to. I think what I'm asking for is not. So I knew that was asking was about anything for the propulsion thing was a long shot, but this is at least something that could help us with that distraction part. Thank you for answering my questions. I very much appreciate it. And would you be okay if I use some of the stuff that you've already made to help with? I'm assuming that they've maybe been told at some point.
No, you guys came directly here from the
Hmm.
mayor, and so. Well, what do you have for trade?
I pull out my pack and I open it. I am a bit of a crafts person. And I have a variety of different wire and material that maybe you'll find useful in some regard. Show like some wire, some
And
other
she's kind of
specific
looking at it
stuff.
and seems very disinterested. And Fubari just moves forward, and you watch as Fubari starts just picking out of various pockets and brings out a number of different fruits, some plants, and things like that, and go, Fubari, I think this is enough. And she looks at them. Oh, I haven't seen these things in years. Oh, so yes, of course. Take what you need. And she seems just perplexed with the amount of plant life that Fubari's seemingly I can't think of the word I'm thinking of. Not inexcusable, but unemptiable pockets, bottomless pockets.
The Mary Poppins pockets, essentially.
By the way, I think I failed to mention this to Kiri and Jax. We found out last week that Fubari is effectively an artificer, and her various pockets just have various gadgets she's created and just raw materials that she constantly has with her.
Oh,
Like Silas.
And Aruna.
I have a secondary question after we leave, but I'll say thank you. Take the stuff, look it through our Fubari. Thank you. That was kind of you. And when we kind of get back to everybody else, can I take the remainder of the time to analyze that thing that Fubari was using to essentially save both of us, to see if I can recreate it as a way to
Again, at this
navigate?
particular point, it is massively beyond. Like, this would take you weeks, if not months, of discovery, just because again, that's literally part of her focus is these gadgets and stuff like that.
Got it.
You'd have to reclass for that.
Yeah.
Got it. Okay.
Smith
Voice.
and
Yes.
to the Tinkerer,
Mhm.
but she is quite literally an artificer. So,
Got it. Okay. Never mind then. Okay. That's it. I think that's all I work on.
All right. So for the rest of you, what are your plans for this distraction? Like, I actually need you to tell me what kind of distraction you guys want to try.
would like to scout out tall people buildings that would be in the opposite direction.
Preferably
might-
that housed fireworks.
That might be like specifically focusing on something that might be like a little more decrepit, but so like it's I wouldn't be setting someone's house on fire, like, but would if it just suddenly burst into flames, it might rally a bunch of people to it.
This is
why don't you
essentially
give
what
me
my plan was, so I'd like to assist.
Wait, this
why
is
don't
your
you give me a-
great. I'm glad we're on the same. This is perfect.
Wait, sorry, what?
No, don't worry
We're
about
just-
it. Don't worry about it.
we're just scouting out ahead.
We're
You-
just
you
scouting
keep messing with your
possible
fire.
locations for arson. It's fine. Don't worry about it.
Why don't you give me? I'll let you choose wisdom or power check, and since you and Adesh are already on the same page, we'll say that you have an asset on that. So we'll call it difficulty 4. Asset brings it down to 3.
Okay, brilliant.
Also, we have an actual
Uh,
representative from the Forest Minish in chat right now.
She's
I
going
wouldn't
to
say hi
get
to Force
crucified here in
Finish.
the town.
Hi, Rebecca.
Rebecca!
We miss
I
you.
will use wisdom because I don't use wisdom as often, even though that
Okay.
only gives me 1 edge, but that's okay. I will, yeah, still use my effort, but it will take a little bit more because I only have 1 edge for that.
I
Correct?
can't
Yeah.
believe that
yeah.
Forest Minish
Yeah.
emote is actually called Rebecca.
So I think that
Minish.
brings that down to 2. Because it was brought down to a 3. I'm bringing it down to a 2. 16.
Ex-
All right, yeah. You
I really want to set something on fire.
as you kind of look around, you find like the town itself. This is effectively Hyrule Castle town. So near the center of town is much more closely packed buildings and things like
Mhm.
that. Where setting off a fire would definitely present a danger of catching a lot of buildings. As you get further and further to the outskirts, you start seeing kind of larger plots of land that instead of just being a house and maybe like a back garden, they also will have like sheds and other things. And you find one in particular where you're relatively certain that at one point this shed was probably used to house, farming implements or something like that, but has just not been upkept in a very long time. So the door itself is kind of hanging off its hinges, and the wood itself has kind of dry rot and other things.
Oh, that's perfect. I love it. Is there anything still inside, like straw or hay or anything?
To get to it, to look inside, you're going to have to be a little bit sneaky. So you and anyone that wants to join you exploring this, I just need wisdom checks from you guys.
see,
Hey,
I
bitch,
have
you wanna come in? It'll be
have-
fun.
0 reroll tokens. What power level is this?
We're getting all this difficulty with the fact that you guys have shields and everything. We'll call this a difficulty 3.
Okay. However, I have my optical shift ability.
Yeah, I would definitely count that as an asset if you want to use it.
For both of us, I think. Or no.
Can
one
can you
creature.
multi-target? I thought it was a single
is
target.
all right if-
only.
One creature.
Yeah, so I believe you'd have to choose either you or.
No. I have lots of rerolls and I just rolled a 17. You do you, buddy. I'm good.
Hey, I know. I could. I know. Well.
Yeah, it's like,
She
I
invited
know.
you along and now she's
I
gone.
know. I know.
This is a good thing I know where we're going.
Come on.
All right. This is okay. So that's that's free. Okay, great. Wisdom power level 3 down to 2. Is that right?
Yes.
Okay. Please.
6 or higher.
8.
Here we
Nice.
go.
Thank you, Optical
So,
Shift, for making that a success.
I know you, without even thinking, like you just kind of walk all out in the open, like you have a little conversation with the keys. You're going, no one notices you in any way, shape, or form, and you get inside with no difficulty. Adash, you sit there and you watch and you're like, I know, be quiet, just she just, without displacing a single blade of grass, gets over there perfectly fine. And you just kind of go, okay,
No. I
seems
go,
easy enough.
nothing about this woman makes sense.
So maybe I'm just overthinking this. Maybe I'm
You like
and so as
it.
soon as you step out, you hear this huge booming voice as one of the tall folk comes out and seems to be heading directly for where you are hiding. And so you have to like dive behind a little bush, and then you go over here, and you're just kind of going everywhere. And every single time you find a new place to be safe, something else happens. A cat shows up.
It's like I'm hunting for a
Sparrow starts making a lot of noise, and it draws the attention. And you eventually get over there, kind of panting and breathing, broken out in a bit of a flop sweat. And Ino is just perfectly fine.
Just pat, pat, pat. You
Why are
have a
you
habit of
touching-
making everything so difficult.
No, just no. Okay.
It's really a talent, actually.
No, just give me a
You
second.
should teach a class.
No.
I don't know who'd want it, but it's interesting.
Mhm, okay.
Example.
So looking
Okay.
around, you guys can see, yes, this used to be basically like a gardening shed. And so you can see the remnants of a few tools in here that are kind of splintered and broken. You also see 2 large bags of fertilizer.
Flower. Oh. Ino gets very excited. And she's
Which
like,
in this kind of
Oh,
level
wait.
of technology would be mostly kind of manure and other things like
okay,
that.
okay.
Still flammable, but
Yeah.
not quite. Like, you're not going to be able to make napalm out of it.
Yeah, I had a brief
Smellable, too.
moment of going like, wait, this is different.
Napalm?
Okay. So it's not napalm, but like I'm like, I know that stuff that can be explosive. Yeah,
this is, I mean, it still gives off, like, there's a
but here's
decent
the
amount
here's the
of...
thing I would have to ask about that. At this point, it's probably really dry. Correct?
Yeah, it's very, very old.
Okay.
Dry is good, right?
Yes, but it might not give us quite the chemical reaction.
So the whole thing with like manure and why it can be real dangerous is because it is both very flammable and not because it's so wet. Yee! I saw you melt it. But like if you can, there's a chemical reaction caused in basically if wet matter gets heated up to where it can go
Okay, so
and
we
reach
wet it.
a not Greek fire, but almost. That makes sense, where it can be
There's
more-
also a decent amount of hay in here as well.
Oh, fantastic. Okay, cool.
Here's another fun fact. Water plus hay creates an exothermic reaction.
So we wet it all. We place one.
Not
the
all of
bombs
it. No,
here.
not all of
Oh,
it. We don't want
okay.
it too wet. But hang on, I'm doing some math.
Oh, sorry.
And I know
I'll let
just
you do your
starts
wet
sort of
math.
calculating and looking at like the size of it and realizing that she doesn't have like a proper thing to write on. Just kind of walks around to Dash and starts using his back.
Why?
as like
I
a-
have an unused notebook right
No,
here.
I'm not writing on your back. I'm just using you as a surface.
And Dash is also partially confused at why you wouldn't want things too wet.
That's why I was asking. I didn't understand.
Just writing and just being like, okay, all right.
If we scatter this about a little bit, and then we place the hay in these places, and we only wet the manure here, here, and here. Yeah, that's going to make a very big problem for very big people. Yeah. We don't want to light it now, of course.
We
should
shouldn't.
probably. I would say maybe an hour, maybe half an hour prior to when we want the minish to move. What do you think? You are more on the actual like things bursting into flame.
Yeah, but my flames are pretty instant. We can just.
No.
split the
I
difference.
understand, but then things have to catch, and then they have to like we're basically making.
Right.
And she starts pointing at the hay, and like we are essentially making a wick that is going to help it grow, so that by the time it starts reaching the larger pieces, it is not overwhelmed, and it can keep it. Like imagine you have a very tiny mouse, huh? Or
Okay.
or a snake. Snakes are better. Snakes are very better.
Okay,
So
a
you have a very
snake.
tiny snake. You cannot start tiny snake on eating big rat. You have to start on like tiny rat or mouse, and then it can slowly work its way up. Fire is very similar. Does that make sense?
It does make sense. Yes, I've used.
Brilliant. You are very
fire
smart. All right.
before.
Okay, I think we are good to go.
Okay. So you don't need a test. All right. Okay.
I mean, if you think like how long do you think the fire would take to slowly go?
That's what I was just about to ask God. Um,
Oh,
based
to ask
on
God.
Yeah. just
God.
just to put this out here,
Are you there,
my
God? It's
ego
me, Adesh.
big enough without being referred to as a daddy. You
Are
can
you
just call
there,
me
God?
Dungeon
It's me,
Master, Game
Adesh.
Master, Almighty One. But
Deity
Creator of
daddy,
the world.
deification, a little bit much for me.
Deity Master.
You did create our world, and
Also,
you
you-
influence everything that's happening in it, so it's not technically incorrect.
Personified the 3 golden goddesses at the end of last campaign. So.
So
Yes, no,
anyway.
my question was just going to be based on my dabbling with various arson-related activities. How long do I think based on?
I would assume with the fact that fire seems to be kind of your element of choice, without too much difficulty, you could kind of figure out the burn rate of various things in here. And probably the only issue that you have is everything in here is not only very dry, but very flammable. So any open flame in this building is going to catch things very, very quickly.
I would say 30
so you-
minutes.
Like you could probably have the whole building up in 5 minutes.
5
easily.
minutes.
So the thing that,
All
that
right,
you would
Mr.
see
We
in
gotta,
this
we gotta
is,
book it.
is if you don't want it going up in 5 minutes, you would have to put some decelerants in there to
That's actually what I was
make
talking
things.
about, possibly wetting down some of the manure in a way that it would basically decelerate, but ultimately once it got to the right temperature, it would create more of a problem, if that makes sense.
Mhm.
Okay, cool.
So, to get the calculations right, either you or Adesh can make me a power roll. It's going to be a difficulty 5, but with both of you working together, whoever wants to roll it will have 2 assets.
I have a reroll if you want me to roll.
I would
it.
love for you to roll this.
Fantastic. So we've got 2 assets, bringing it down to a 3.
Yubbers?
All right, so in order so you can work on it together, she does move around to just putting the pad of paper on your chest and just keeps looking up at you and like, all right.
Why? Okay.
And she turns it so that you can kind of see it when you look down. But it's like, all right, so this is what I am
You're making
thinking.
this so much more sensual than it needs to be.
And every so often, like as you're drawing, you start realizing that you're slowly making like a charcoal rubbing of his abs. And like, these are very well defined.
I mean, there's still a freaking pad of paper.
Yeah, they're that chiseled. I know.
He's in great shape.
She has no real concept of the word you just used. So.
This is the concept.
Yeah, this is it.
19.
You were learning the concept right now.
19.
19. 19 is a major major effect as well.
Oh,
So,
Oh, is it? I
Okay.
thought it was just 20. Sweet.
oh wait, no. 19 is a
Okay.
minor effect.
Minor
20
effects,
is a major
right?
effect.
It's like 18 and 19 are minor effects. Is that my
Yeah,
memory?
so 19 is
Okay.
minor, 20 is major, and on attack rolls, 17 and 18 just give you additional damage. So yeah, but 19 is a minor effect. So, so for this particular thing, obviously you guys are able to. Let's put it this way: for your minor effect, unless you have something else specific that you want. Let's say for your minor effect, as you guys are searching around, you guys are able to find, let's say, this is some material, some cloth that is fire resistant. So it's not immune to fire. It just burns very, very slowly. So effectively, it allows you to
Basically make a wick.
effectively,
like-
yeah.
Fantastic. That gives us time to get out of there.
So you guys have your plan. You guys still have another day-ish.
I'm really impressed with us. We like figured this out. And we
yeah.
still have so much time.
3 days was
We're
gonna
really
be
cool.
more than it's really like they need to get ready on their end with this, just the coordination.
I mean, you can always come and help me plant weeds.
Oh, that's right. We should go help. I just had a memory.
Oh, what do you remember?
Shoot,
Soraya
that's
sometimes
Soraya's
just
mind
always on my mind.
Oh, yeah, I get that.
I got my mind on
bet-
Zoraya and
She goes,
Zoraya
I
on my
bet
mind.
you do. I don't actually know what that means, but it sounded like something I should say. Anyway, let's go.
Okay.
Ba, 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 ba,
Hey,
ba.
Zoraya.
I got you, babe.
Hey, Dilly.
Dilly still surprisingly silent, helping Zoraya kind of plant things. So I guess for the remainder of the day you guys have left, are you guys just going to help Zoraya get her planting stuff
Absolutely.
done?
Where's Matto?
That was going to be my next question. Mato, do you have particular things that you are trying to do in the basically like 2-ish days that you have? If you wanted to work on it, you could probably develop, now that you've kind of figured out how things work, you probably develop somewhere between 3 to 5 more of those shields.
Okay. Can I?
Otherwise, if you have other things you want to do, you can
I'd
do that
like
instead.
to try to see if I can come up with a way to retract the spring mechanism through like a button press.
With the technology available in this tier, it's not possible.
Okay. Then I will
If you
not
get
do
back to
that.
the tiers core, you have
I
access
could probably
to
do that.
significantly more technology.
5 minutes.
Okay. Then I will just make a couple more.
Okay. So go ahead and roll me, we'll call this a wisdom check. Or courage, I guess, if you want to like. So I'll let you choose wisdom or courage.
So I have an edge. I have edge in wisdom. So I
Okay.
might. What's my difficulty here?
This is again not going to have a difficulty. It's the higher you roll, the more shields you can make.
Okay,
Yeah.
so there's no point using any
If
sort
you
of
do,
edge.
if you
All
do
right.
put edge, basically level of edge that you, or each level of effort that you put in will just basically add 3 to your total. Does that make sense? Because what
It does.
effort
I'm
does
just
is it
deciding.
reduces the difficulty by 3. So since
So let's add
we're
3 to
being
the total
additive,
as-
we'll just add it.
Sure. I will use 1 level of effort. So that means I take, since I have 2 edge, I drop 1 point.
Yep.
And that means
So
I go
whatever you
from
roll,
this number.
add 3 to it.
18.
18. Is that with the 3?
That is with the 3. 15 on
Okay.
the die.
So yeah, as you kind of you're able to get back to the workshop, and Grumpo is still not particularly happy to have you there, but due to the fact that you now have the backing of the mayor, he can't really do anything. And between you and the Tinkerer friend that you guys have made, that I obviously remember their name,
Yeah, I
but
believe you.
I want you guys
Yeah.
to remember it. So
Yeah, we remember.
Yeah.
We all remember.
between the two of you, you're able to knock out another 5 shields. So
Cool.
you guys all make your prep work. Everything seems to be about ready. But unfortunately, that is where we're going to end it for today. As always, if you missed any of this, we do have all of the episodes of both this and Realms of the Wild, our previous campaign, right here on the Twitch channel. It's twitch.tv/Zelda Universe TV. Just go to the video tabs, and we have a playlist for Tears of the Realms and an entire playlist for Realms of the Wild if you want to see the nonsense these guys got up to in the Open Legend system. So otherwise, that is going to be all for us today, and I will see you guys in the next time. All right? Bye.